So welcome back to M is for Motorcycle. Today I'm at Road Atlanta, just outside Atlanta, Georgia. And I have a special guest today. You may have recognized her from our first interview back in March. And she really needs no introduction. But I'm going to do one anyway because it's so impressive to hear these things. I write it down, for my questions to you. And I'm just, every time I read it, I'm amazed. So at just 9 years of age, she was the first person, male or female, to graduate to full-size competitive motorcycles, right? She's won over 400 races in her career. She's won 47 regional championships. She's won 6 national championships. And at the age of 17, she was the first person to podium, first female, right, to podium in the super sport class for Moto America. None other than Kayla Yaakov, everyone. Welcome, Kayla.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on again. I know our first video was great, and it was a good chat there. And
yeah.
Cool, we were able to kind of come back. We talked about it, right? Like at the end of the season, maybe we come back, but it's good to even have a mid-season, we're about approaching our mid-season point, kind of breakdown and kind of go over a couple of things.
Exactly. Well, thanks so much for taking this time to do this. Really, really great to see you in person and to watch you on track today. We'll get into that a little bit. So like you mentioned, you're mid-season here so you've completed 8 races. You've got 10 races to go. And your race last weekend was at the Ridge out in Washington State. You had a race on Saturday and Sunday. If I could, I'd like to start with Sunday first and get that out of the way because there was a little bit of a hiccup there. Can you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, Sunday, it actually kind of starts on Saturday. Saturday's race, we ran into some weird issues that we hadn't had all weekend. Some really intense chatter, no drive grip. I was coming out of corners and I had Blake Davis and Cam Peterson in front of me.
Right.
And I would just be full throttle and just spinning, and I'd see the guys walk away from me. So it was really frustrating. It was tough on the front. I couldn't feel like I could attack there, and I couldn't get the drive. So I was happy to still be in that podium fight, but I was really struggling with the setup.
Okay.
So going into Sunday, we decided to make a very big change. Not only geometry, but we were changing cups, changing offsets, pretty much everything. Swing arm pivots, like the whole 9, and just to get me more comfortable. And the morning warm-up was feeling really good, but with like 4 minutes to go, I was setting some really good lap times, and the bike cut off and just died. So it was really weird, and I actually got it refired enough to where I could coast down the waterfall hill that they have. It's called the Ridge Complex, but yeah, that like really steep part, make it back to the pits. But yeah, it happened to be like an oil pressure sensor that just failed on its own. And it wasn't really related to anything we had later on in the day. But they got that fixed, they tested it, and the bike always has kind of these weird electronic things because all our bikes are so complex now.
High tech, yeah.
Yeah, really high tech and really good, but it causes problems like that. So we tested everything, and with 50 minutes before our race, oil pressure, we were losing it. It was really a scramble. We were trying to decide, not really me, the team was deciding, okay, can we do a motor or can we do a spare bike? And motor takes us about 3 hours to get in on the Ducatis because, you look at a Ducati, it's really the motor and a half of a frame. So, it takes quite a long time. So they decided to get the spare bike as ready as possible, and a bike I hadn't touched. The only thing I was able to do was do my handlebars, and I jumped on it, and they were able to get me some suspension, suspension as close as possible, but not the same geometry, cups, offsets, clip-ons, anything. It was really different than what I've been riding, but went out for the warm-up lap. I was like, at least I'm riding, and I felt good. I was pretty confident that I could make it work. And the first lap of the race felt great. I was right in that battle for the podium, actually about to make a pass on some people that would actually end up on the podium, and the bike cut off again.
Oh no!
Yeah, that was the end of my race. It basically just completely cut off, and I couldn't get it refired. It wasn't. It was turning over, but it wasn't really firing anything into it. So ended up being a fuse that was just getting messed up. So
I'm watching the race on TV, and the cameras are showing a different part of the track, some other riders.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they cut to you. You're dead stopped.
Yeah.
You're leaned over your tank, and you're pounding on the tank.
Yeah.
And I was like, immediately I was shocked because I had just seen you a few seconds earlier
Yep.
in action on the track.
Yep.
And then I was like, Kayla, why do you hate your motorcycle? But I'm joking, of course. But just the passion there, right? It's just frustrating. It comes out. And
even in the warm-up, like in that warm-up session when I was off the side of the track, I did the same thing. And in that session, right, in hindsight, doesn't mean a ton. But to me, right, new setup, we're trying to get things. In Moto America, we have such limited time to get everything right, So it's only you get basically two sessions, and one of your sessions is a qualifying one before you have your second qualifier that sets your grid for both races, and then both races. So you don't have a lot of time at all to really get the bikes dialed. So it's very important to not miss any time on the racetrack. So that was really frustrating, and then obviously a race. You never want to have that happen. It was, definitely gut-wrenching for sure. I was 100% gutted, and just I knew right there in front of me was a podium, and I really do believe we had it that day, and it is what it is. It's racing. We'll have more moments like that, more moments to be on the podium fighting for wins, and
you work toward the next one, right?
Exactly.
You put it behind you.
Yep.
One thing I remember from Saturday's races, you had a great battle for multiple laps with Blake Davis, and I was watching your style, and every time I watch you race, I'm always amazed at how you have just this amazing situational awareness. Is that something that evolved because you've been racing pretty much your whole life? Do you work on that? Is it just a natural instinct, or is that something you have to really focus on?
I feel like I've always had it, just kind of that mentality, right? I always want to be the best. I always want to beat the guys in front of me, and as I've gotten older, it means more to me, right? Because you can go out and win races, and for me it's amazing. Like in the moment you feel great, but now I'm finally at this place where I feel like I can prove myself, and not that I need to prove myself anymore, but I always try to do something and find that motivation.
Right.
So yeah, for me in those situations, right, I've been doing it since I was starting when I was 4 years old, and I just really comfortable with even though the bike was off, I had to really adapt to the bike, and just trying to get comfortable with it again, and comfortable riding around the people I was with. I feel like the class is pretty good this year with everyone passing pretty well. I mean, yeah, you have moments where you have some contact, but even then everyone stays pretty fine, and it's
clean racing.
It's been pretty good, and I was happy to at least have a few battles at the beginning and then catch them back at the end. But yeah, like I said, it was still frustrating at the end to not be able to just get it. But yeah, no, it was fun.
Well, let's talk for a minute about that new Yamaha R9. That bike has been fast right out of the box.
Yeah.
Does that put pressure on you and your team to try radical setup changes, or do you just stick with your setup and make fine-tune changes? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, with every bike, you try to find a base setting.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, like, we've had quite a lack of testing this year.
Okay.
With the new bike, these guys that have come over with this new R9, they've been testing them, racing them in World Super Sport, so they have a lot of data on these new bikes and all of the changes being made. And also, the Strack team, they're very prepared. They're always testing, always trying new things, which, is good for them. But I feel like for us, we got all of these new parts this year. We've never been allowed links. We've never been allowed cups. All of these offsets and all the stuff we haven't been allowed. So with our lack of testing, we've been really scrambling to try to find, okay, what's a great setup? And we thought we had a really good one, and then we show up to the ridge and it doesn't work. We find this chatter, we find these weird problems that have kind of been occurring, but maybe not so aggressive.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like it is a bit of a scramble now to try to catch up to the R9s, especially because those bikes handle amazing and they're fast right now. So we got to really catch up, and we want to win for not only our team but for Ducati in general.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Your team principal is American superstar racer Ben Spies. And Ben was a winner in American racing, World Superbike, and even competed in MotoGP. What does he give to you as a team principal in terms of mentoring or coaching? Does he leave that to you now that you're a seasoned professional, or does he still kind of guide you in different areas?
I'd say this year more than ever, he's been really in my corner and helping me out. I mean, weekends like our last weekend, I think is, having him is really important. If I didn't have him, I think I wouldn't say I'd be in a worse mental state, but I feel like it would be harder for me to really take the weekend, digest it, and move past it. Mm-hmm. I think with him in my corner, he gives me that reassurance that I'm doing the right things. I'm riding really fast, and it gives me confidence. He not only is he helping me in that sense, but he'll sit. We're here at Road Atlanta. Like, I remember our weekend here, he's sitting in the chicane area, the S's, and just telling us, okay, we can do this or that better. Mm-hmm. Maybe even to Matthew, because Matthew's really quick around here. But then, his confidence, his ability to kind of see things from the outside, and then obviously a training standpoint. He was in MotoGP. He's at the top in the world in that sense. So I take all I can from him and learn as much as possible, and hopefully I can follow in his footsteps in some way.
Does he ever shake down your bike?
I wish. I told him he was supposed to this off season. But with all the changes on the bikes, it was pretty chaotic to try to get everything ready to go for the season. So he wasn't able to this past year, but I'm hoping this year he's going to be able to ride. He told us, he was like, I'm going to ride with you guys, and if I'm within a second of PJ, you guys are screwed. I'm like, man, no way.
That's
but,
awesome.
No, he's awesome. He rode at Coda with us, actually, at a Ducati DRE event.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he was dicing it up with Baz, and that was his first time on a bike in like, I don't even know how long. So
wow.
The guy still got it. He's fast.
I bet. I did a little research. Everybody knows that Ben's nickname when he was racing was Elbows because of the unique position of his arms. And I did a little research, and I can't find a nickname for Kayla. Do you have a nickname? Has anybody given you one?
When I was little, I had a few small things I try to use for, I guess, myself. But I feel like now I kind of like what I got going on with these shirts. Yeah. My name. Oh, I got one on too. Yep. With my name, and I don't know. I feel like it kind of suits me. It's a little edgy. It's not really because the Anarchy A. So I'm not really taking it from anyone. I'm just trying to do my thing and not really care about what people say. I think that's a big part of racing, is being confident and being strong. I think that's what I try to possess in that. And I don't know. I don't have anything right now that's
I was just curious.
My nickname.
Yeah, I didn't know if your dad had a little pet name for you or something.
Definitely not.
But
he's just doing tires on the weekend. That's all he does.
Yeah. So Kayla is actually, everybody knows you as just Kayla now too, which is pretty cool. It's just become your, this persona. Let's see here. So today we're at Road Atlanta. You're doing your coaching school. Yeah. How did that go today? It's a hot one. Yeah,
it's hot out here in Atlanta. It's good because we're kind of preparing for VIR later on this year, where it's going to be way hotter and way more humid. But no, I'm coaching with a good rider of mine. He's ridden with me a couple times at Coda, so down here at Road Atlanta the first time, and he's doing great. So we're gonna do today and tomorrow, mm-hmm. and coach with him. I do Area 31 coaching, so it's like a private coaching thing I do, mm-hmm. and it keeps me on the bike and also keeps me on the racetrack, and it allows me to make a little bit of money on the side, because racing's not going to last forever, and if I can start dabbling in other forms of motorcycle riding, I'd love to do it, and keep myself on a bike for as long as I can.
And if anyone's interested, hit up Kayla on her Facebook or her Instagram to look into availability on slots for your racing school.
Yeah.
Also for all this cool merch, definitely check that out. Remind me again where you can buy
these ones. These are on defileodds.co, and then my shirts are going to be on my website, which should be just kaylayaakov.com, and then you can find a link there. But if you can't, just DM me and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get you one. on a personal note here, Kayla, you just had your 18th birthday,
Yeah.
right? And happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
During your race season, do you have time for guitar playing?
I try a little bit. When I'm home, it's very, I wouldn't say hectic, but I'm busy.
You're on the go all the time during the summer.
I'm training a lot. I really work hard and try to be the best I can be. And, when I have time, it's nice to decompress, play guitar, play with my sister and my dog. And, I just try to disconnect a little bit from racing. But, a little bit. I've been playing more acoustic right now. My bass has had a few cobwebs on it for a couple of weeks, but I'll be back in.
I was going to ask you about that because you play, you like to play Ibanez electric guitars.
Yeah.
And I'm asking about the guitars because I'm a guitar player myself. But I saw in the Moto America Pressure to Rise series, you played the acoustic guitar, and I was like, oh, okay, she has multifaceted guitar playing there. That's cool. Do you have anything you like to play on the acoustic, or like
my acoustic guitars, maybe more so like finger picking songs. I try to be pretty, I guess, more technical on that side.
Okay.
And then my electric, if I'm playing that, I have a Fender as well now, so that I also do finger picking on that one. But then I have an Ibanez electric, and I try to do that more for like the classic rock stuff, or maybe some hard rock. And obviously, my basses, I just do everything. You can play everything with a bass.
You like playing bass too?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, still Ibanez, so I try to keep it.
That's very cool.
That area.
I love it. Now, your finger picking style. Do you play like metal intros? Are you familiar with a band called Alter Bridge? Mark Tremonti.
Ooh. I feel like I know that name.
He has some amazing finger picking stuff.
Band. Yeah. I try to kind of verse myself in everything. Whether it's classic rock or just really like indie or pop music, stuff that maybe anyone can listen to. Alternative. I just love anything alternative.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah. It's a great outlet and a great way to just kind of let the stress kind of push to the side a little
100%.
bit. Kayla, it's so amazing to catch up with you mid-season, and you've got, like I said, 10 races to go.
Yeah. 10 chances to do something, right?
You're currently sitting 7th in the points. I know that's not where you want to be, but I want to remind everybody there's 35 competitors in that Super Sport series. So you're at the top, and I know you're going to fight for these podiums and these wins. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the season.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the remaining 10 races?
I'm excited. I feel like, our 7th place in the championship hasn't been very indicative of our speed. We've coming off of Road America, we were 4th and right off the podium that race, and really like my whole Ridge weekend, I was in the top 5 every single session, and then a DNF in the second race with that mechanical. So I don't know. It's been frustrating because we've had these weird little small issues or setup problems when it comes race time, but we've always had speed. So I know if I'm patient and I keep going in the direction I'm going, we're gonna be fast, and our time will come. And I'm really happy with where we're at right now. I feel like I'm riding really good, so I'd really love to see all this hard work pay off at some point. But we're gonna do our best. Like I said, 10 chances to do something really good, and I'm ready to kind of take on the second half here soon.
Heck yeah, I can't wait to watch it. We'll be cheering you on, Kayla. I do one last thing that came to my mind. We saw you doing an autograph session recently, and some young girls were coming up and you have autograph flats, I guess.
Like called. Little cards.
Little cards. And you were handing them out, and these little girls were just in awe of you. You're such an inspiration. But I know when I'm walking around and talking with people here in the paddock on this track day, there's no sense of, oh, well, Kayla's a girl. Like, it's not you're a competitor, but she's good for a girl. You've equalized that, and you've got to be proud of that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's still I don't know. I don't like to talk too much about the racing side of it, because I feel like there's some people that still won't take me as seriously as I think they should.
Right.
But that's their problem, not mine. And
you'll see them out on the track.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I feel like it's been good. I've been able to it hopefully show a lot of these girls and a lot of these competitors that, you know, we can be up there just as much as any other guy. So
Exactly.
you know, I'm pushing the limits and pushing boundaries as much as I can. And like I said, I do it for me, and I do it for the people around me, my brother. I do it just, yeah, I hope to be that person that hopefully leads a new crop of female racers up and proves that, yeah, it can be totally done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kayla. And don't forget to check out her first interview on M is for Motorcycle on our M is for Motorcycle YouTube channel. Kayla, have a great rest of the season.
Thank you.
It's awesome talking with you.
Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.